It's wintertime, things are slow, things are dead. Everyone's like, when is this thing gonna move? Think it'll break 40 cents? That would be really exciting. Anybody? It's just slow and low. That's just the way it is right now. Um, I remember years ago I was online one time and I stumbled across this random little chat group, and it was hosted on some dingy little website. It was like a little whatever website. I don't know how I fell into the group, but it used to happen a lot. Like these little groups, I actually stumbled across some. I think it's where I learned about men who like to cross dress in their wives' clothing. It's one of those sites. I was like, oh, what's that? It's pretty good stuff. Very understanding wives, but in this particular little chat group, they were talking about this thing called Bitcoin. And the group was pretty small. I guess they had maybe about 20 members. And there was a guy who was like the head of the group, kind of like the group dad. I think they call them facilitators, but they would just chat with each other and give each other encouragement. And there was also a dial in number that if you wanted to call during their organized meeting times and just listen to this guy talk and share your thoughts with the rest of the group, you could do that. And I didn't know what Bitcoin was at that time, but I remember reading some of the chat from the group members, and it sounded very much like some of the present day XRP conversations that we see now. Only at that time, this particular group, these members were like very fragile, not very outspoken, not at all like this community, believe me. But it was kind of like it was like primitive, like Little House on the Prairie. Maybe right before they discovered like light or electricity, but the group members sounded like they really believed in this thing, this Bitcoin, but they were also saying things like, everyone's telling me this is a scam and it's not going anywhere. When's it gonna happen? It's like every month we're just waiting. And then they would appeal to the head of the group, like, Dave, when's this thing gonna take off? And they were really downtrodden. But what was most impressive to me about them was that they still had this really solid belief in this thing and where this Bitcoin thing was going. And I don't know how they figured this stuff out that early on. And also, they would talk about how many of these Bitcoins they all had. Like, it wasn't a big deal. They would just be like, yeah, this many. They had a lot. Many of them had probably hundreds, thousands. I don't know, but it was a lot. And I remember the group facilitator had it even more. And I also remember it being really cheap. I thought, whatever this thing is, I could buy a lot of them, like even on my little salary. And I kept trying to figure out and visualize what a Bitcoin was. Like, could you hold it? Where do you put it? Like, what do you do with it once you have it? I just could not understand it. But I was curious, so I called the meeting number one time when they were having like a meeting, and the leader was always keeping them going. He was like, look, guys, I know it's been a long road, but with a little more time and patience, I think we're going to see this thing take off. You guys are all going to be really happy that you stuck around. People don't understand what an amazing opportunity this is. That's okay. They're gonna. Of course, I'm paraphrasing, but I never joined the group. And, even though they were totally welcoming to new members, they were always saying, oh, no, anybody can join. And I just didn't, mainly because, well, for two reasons. One was that it just seemed so technical. And I don't understand tech talk. I don't, God did not see fit to gift me with the techie gene. I almost quit a job once because they said everybody had to start using Excel and Salesforce. Salesforce is next level, and Excel keeps me up at night. I'll never learn it. Never. I'll die first. You just kill me. But the other thing was, kind of reminded me of an MLM where like one of your friends is like, hey, you want to come to this really cool group? We're talking about this like invisible coin, and then you finally agree and they take you to this hotel. You're in this big meeting room, and then there's some speaker guy in the front of the room, and he's like all amped up and he's pacing around. They've got like two big easels with like white paper behind him, and then on the easels, like in big black marker, it's like, today you're gonna change your life, and everybody's clapping. Digital, get ready for the digital future. It was like that. I never understood MLMs, and or like Amway. Everybody got all excited about that. I still don't know what Amway is, but um, even though this guy that was heading up this chat group, he was really nice, and I do like Tony Robbins. But anyway, I saw Tony Robbins cure some guy's stuttering problem. I think it was like in 11 minutes, and the guy had this problem a long time. So, I didn't want to join the group because it's like the quote that I don't remember the quote exactly, but it's something like, I wouldn't want to be a part of any group that would have me as a member, something like that. There's a reason people can relate to that, but so I didn't join the little Bitcoin group with a shitty website. But I have no regrets. I'm very happy for that little group. I just wish I could see what those guys are doing now and tell them, I'm so proud of your early vision and your resolve. I was your bench warmer cheerleader. That's what I was. Never said a word. But if by chance you're newer here or newer to crypto, XRP, it's not like it was before. Bitcoin, although some of those guys really hate XRP, they hate all of us. But Bitcoin really kind of paved the way with the early settlers, like that guy and his group, his little baby ducks. So here it is. It's almost a decade later. I don't even know, and many people still see digital currencies the same way, like most of my friends and acquaintances, and pretty much my family, my coworkers. People love to laugh and use me as a conversation piece when the word crypto comes up. They're like, "Oh no, tell Joe about your crazy thing," and then I'll usually look over at Joe or whoever, and I'm like, "Hey, guy, call me if you're ready for the red pill." They never do, but sometimes when things are slow like this, especially lately, things are uncertain and nobody knows what's happening in the market. People tend to jump ship. It's just what happens. I saw someone on Twitter the other day, and he was like, "I'm selling all my XRP for some other coin because that's gonna go." It's like, hey, go ahead. We don't need you. You were never really here. And I guess for some people, things aren't happening fast enough, and that's understandable. Our lives have become very instant, like fast food. We have fast internet. I don't, but some people do. Fast women, instant coffee. I'm trying to quit coffee. I hate what it does to me. And there is absolutely no reason I should be nervous when I'm alone in my house. I had one time my girlfriend wanted to pick me up to go out, but I had so much coffee, I was scared to come out of my house. Like, I was paranoid. And so she calls me. She's like, "What the hell are you doing in there?" I said, "I don't know. I can't come out." She had to talk me down. It took her 10 minutes. So some of us should not have any kind of stimulants. And as soon as I quit, though, I become so full of myself. I think I'm above everyone. I quit this one time, and one of my coworkers walked by with a cup of coffee, and I was, look at that poor bastard drinking coffee. They don't know. But, we know more about what Ripple is doing with XRP these days than we knew what Bitcoin was doing back then. I mean, nobody knew what the hell it was for a while. And Bitcoin, from what I can tell, I think it's gone to new highs every year. And then not so high. But who in that original group, that little shitty group online, like who really knew it would get up to like, I don't know what it was last year, 19,000? You think they're complaining now about the down market? I mean, maybe they are, but I doubt it. So just some reminders, yeah, things are slow, but where is it? I saved this little, this girl, Misty, I follow her on Twitter lately, but she posted this, I think yesterday, the day before, something about this place in Vegas where they have, I don't think they call it a Bitcoin machine, but they do have like Bitcoin. Obviously, you can see there's XRP symbolism there, so that's pretty awesome, and a lot of people like that. And there's this one. I mean, I think that's in India. Look at that logo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 total. Do you think the people that implemented this as one of the 5 coins in this machine, like, they planned the whole thing out, the layout, paid the designer, talked it over in their board meetings, and then they were like, oh yeah, but it's only 30-something cents right now. Oh yeah, forget it. Let's pull it. I mean, obviously someone knows something. Many someones probably know many somethings. Maybe more than we think they know. And this, Uphold, recently, Uphold says on their site, they said, when first listed on Uphold earlier this year, XRP accounted for less than 10% of platform purchases each month. Over the past month, this was January 4th, that figure has risen to 43%. What? Look at this. March, April, May, June. Bzz. They forgot October. Maybe I just don't know how to read graphs. But you know, something else to keep in mind is how massive is the pushback for XRP by not very well-meaning people, unwell-meaning people. Ever ask yourself why that is? You ever see anyone yelling at Ravencoin? No. Like, XRP is like a little golden baby, just hasn't matured yet. But people are yelling about it constantly, like, oh, XRP's no good, it's this. Would you yell at a baby? I don't think you would. And lots of the veteran XRP YouTubers can give you facts and figures about exactly what's happening with XRP, like in real time. They're really good at that. So just some things to consider while it's slow. And, you know, what if XRP and other coins, I'm not saying it's just going to be XRP, but for purposes of this video, what if in this early stage, in this down market, what if it's just like a mirror situation of that little chat group I saw all those years ago? I mean, it seemed like nothing. It was just a blip on the screen. It was like nobody knew about this stuff. I mean, the people that did, I don't know where they were lurking, but that particular time period, and I don't even remember exactly what year it was, there was nothing going on. And it's very reminiscent of some of the sentiment that I hear around town in the crypto sphere. So anyway, I don't know if you're buying more, if you're telling anyone, I'm not saying you should. Just some food for thought.